Howdy ho, people.
Hello.
We are doing a virtual wine tasting, Chris and Ed. We're at Old North State Winery. We make wine here, but we also explore the wines of the world each and every Thursday. Well, almost.
Without fail. Sometimes it's
Sometimes
Wednesday.
we did it on a Wednesday. But whatever
Great
we
turnout on Wednesday, bro.
Yeah, we were closed last Thursday night for Autumn Leaves Festival, in which we needed that night off because we got destroyed Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And Wednesday.
Yeah.
And lunch on Thursday.
Yeah,
And
and
lunch
Tuesday
on
lunch.
Wednesday and
Tuesday
Tuesday
lunch.
lunch.
Yeah, we did almost 100 on Tuesday lunch.
I mean, it's just, it never ended.
So anyway, we've been real busy, but we always find time to explore the wines of the world because we think it's important to understand the Yadkin Valley wines. You need to understand all the other great wine regions of the world. And so we spend our year picking out 200 wines that we think are important, whether it's a region-based or a grape-based or a blend even. Yes, we do it all.
All sorts of,
There's so many factors.
so many things that play into it.
But we're down here in Sheffy's office with his mom's beautiful art behind us. Isn't that nice? Yeah, Chef, I just spent I came in a little later today and I was out there moving plants for my sweet mama because the freeze is coming.
Yep.
And so she had to have all those plants moved out to the spare room there where they can live through the winter. So it's brisk. We're getting a little
Thank
chill.
you.
I mean, it's been an unbelievable fall, but now we're starting to get some real coolness. We're gonna get freezing.
I
Fine.
had a friend of mine that posted something snowing in Banner Hill this morning.
Oh yeah. I heard that there's a bit of a blizzard
Yeah.
situation going on out west, Midwest maybe. I don't know. I've been so busy here, Chef. I don't know what's going on in the world.
Luckily, I took the week off, so I'm caught up on
Oh
this.
yeah, right. Yeah, don't you wish? We're going to start off today in Greece. This is Savatiano. It's a grape that's one of the most predominantly grown grapes in all of Greece. This is in Attica, right outside of Athens. I'm not really good with Greek pronunciation, so you'll have to bear with me. But we have served several wines from this producer, Papagiannakos. See, I can't say it. I can't. I'm gonna try. Papagiannakos, maybe close.
Papagiannakos.
But
Just more inflection.
we're gonna call it
Over-inflect.
Mr. P. Anyway, this is an old winery.
This wine.
It goes back over 100 years, and we've always enjoyed everything that we've got from there. But this is a grape that you'll see in blends, and it is a standalone quality. When it's in the right hands, I feel like this is a premium producer, so it is certainly worthy of you taking a spin on the ride, so to speak. We're going to spin our little wine there. And I love this kind of resiny kind of thing going on there. It's really quite lovely on the nose. Follows right through on the palate. Just kind of reminiscent of some of the waxiness if you get maybe from a Semillon or Viognier.
Semillon is right on this,
Yeah.
especially the weight of it.
Yeah.
The weight is very
Now
Semillon-esque.
And Chef Chris and I are drinking this at about 55 degrees, probably a little bit warmer than
Maybe
most
tad
people
more,
would.
yeah.
But we like drinking our white wines at what I call the fault stages. So if there's something wrong in a wine, you're gonna catch it at certain temperatures. And just like Coors Light or Miller Lite or any of those beers, when they come up to about 55 degrees, boy, you can.
Or liquor too, when you make a mixed drink, put all that stuff in it.
You taste what's wrong with it. So when white wines are really cold, you can't taste if there's something wrong with it. But also you're also missing out on some positive things as well as the negative things. And what Chef's talking about here texturally, this really opens up. I would probably serve it closer to 45, 42 for you folks at home. But either way, you're going to love it. And if you want a fuller, kind of more expressive style of wine, go up to 50, 55, really. This is probably pushing 55, what do you say?
Yeah, and climbing. but boys, this is great. Even with the weight of this, a lot of great
Yeah. So this
citrus.
this is why I really love exploring into Greek wines. There's always a surprise waiting for us. Now, obviously, it's a surprise to us. It's probably not a surprise to millions of people out there that already know this, but it's fun for us, and our clientele enjoys being. We don't see Greek wines on our wine shelves at wine shops or grocery stores in the southeast. We're in North Carolina here, and to kind of filter through the millions, it seems like, of wines of the world nowadays. It's hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And we're also trying not to be lemmings and follow everyone else and just have the same wines that everyone has. We want to try to reach out and find those ones that we find are kind of maybe overlooked for where we are in the world. And so this is something that I feel like we are introducing to a lot of people.
I've been introducing it to me. I mean, I've had some Greek wine.
Yeah. Well, we love a Serratico. That's one of our favorite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is a new.
Yep. This is not. This is actually a pretty low acid wine.
It's got a lot of great. Even for the weight on this, little tangerine, apricot.
Like I get the pithy, like oils, perhaps skin of tangerine for sure. For those of you that find white wines maybe too acidic, like they're just too intense and bright, like a Sauv Blanc or like I was saying, a Serratico, this is the opposite. This is a very easy drinking in terms of acidity. And it's also got this luxurious mouthfeel, but it's a real treat.
Very elegant.
And I want to thank, my guys for turning me on to this. This is imported by one of our wine distributors, and it's just a beautiful wine. And like I said, there's a lot of complexities here when you factor in the non-fruit things going on here, which makes wines even more interesting.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time, if you got to stop at the fruit.
Right. Yeah.
You kind of,
Yeah, absolutely. Chef, so this is a pretty complex wine. What would you plan on throwing at it? I think you do just about anything.
You could. And so, I obviously hadn't tasted it, but I already had some Mediterranean seafood thing kind of in my head, because, what it certainly be trying to think of what you would have in Greece with this. But I think after having the weight of it, I'm going to switch from shellfish to catfish and flash fry it.
Okay.
And then do a tapenade on top of this. Pick up on some of the, the caper and pepper and garlic on that. It's going to be great.
That'll be beautiful. So, Savatiano, what a beautiful, good little grape, fun to say, and quite delicious to drink. And it's ringing in at about 12.5% alcohol, which, I feel like there's more than that, though.
It does. And
it just doesn't feel dainty.
It's not dainty at all. This is the antithesis of dainty. But, maybe if we drink a whole bunch of it and just see what kind of
report back on how
effects of this are. I think there's only one way to really, truly investigate this.
Wow, that is lovely. And sorry for slaughtering the name of the winery. I should be better than that. But we're on the fly.
It's hard to say Papagiannakos.
It really is. And my apologies. I will try to make it up to the winery by saying it correct the next wine that we show. And we will show more because we love their whole portfolio that we've had so far. So now we are going to head south of the border. We're going to go on down to Argentina. And we're going to have some Cab Franc. Of course, Chef Chris and I are big fans of the Bordeaux varietals that are grown in Argentina. This is going to be from Mendoza, and it's from one of our favorite producers, Catena. Now, you probably know them for being kind of the leader in probably exposing more people to South American wines than anybody. That might not be completely true, but it's got to be super close to the truth.
It has to be true.
I don't know how you can prove it, but it was certainly who introduced us to it. They have a lot of people enjoy a good view from all their eras. Yes, and they are they're extremely established, but yet they continue to stretch out. And I think they account, for quite a bit of the exports of Argentina. And with that being said, this region of Mendoza accounts for probably 3/4 of the wine production of the entire country. Mendoza is a massive, like 400,000 acres of vines. It's just remarkable, and it just keeps growing. And like I said, Chef Chris and I are really into not just the Malbecs, but the Cab Francs, the Cabs, the Merlots. Like, it's just a great area for French varietals. Cab Franc, I think, is one of your favorites, Chef.
It is, especially South American Cab Francs. And, hats off to Nicholas Catena's grandkids who continue to, it would be really easy to just take the fortune and you can live on the beach. But, they're pushing the envelope. Always, you get all these different single vineyards, these special selections. They're planting.
Yeah.
They're planting different grapes. They're putting out different labels when they could just sit around and pop out Catena Malbec forever.
Yeah.
They're not doing that. They're really diving into the industry and always doing new things and putting out super high-end stuff and even new middle-range things. And so I have a lot of respect for this family who just, it's not about the money. It's about the terroir and the heritage. And
that Chardonnay that we have, the white bones.
That shouldn't have even been called Chardonnay.
It's like a $200 Chardonnay. It was amazing.
And it drank at a value.
Yeah, I've never had a Chardonnay.
I've had some $500 Merceaus that didn't touch that. They're just doing an amazing job all across the board.
So this is actually from a sub-region of Mendoza. Now Mendoza, as I said, is quite large. This is from San Carlos, so it's a smaller Appalachian. As you break down these larger ones, just like they do in Napa and Sonoma, they got to break them down because they're so massive that there's no way that all of these climates can be the same within such a large land mass. So they're breaking them down, and San Carlos is where this Cab Franc is coming from. 100%. That is the law of Argentina. If they put a sub-AVA on there, it has to be 100% from that AVA, or I don't know if they call it an AVA, I think they call it a DO, but regardless, it has to be 100%, which is good to know. As a consumer, you kind of want to know. As a wine geek, you definitely want to know. You want to know all the little details. So, Chef, beautiful color there, right off the bat.
You smell the butter on the nose.
Yeah. That malolactic definitely took this part.
It did.
What about, this is going to sound ridiculous because it smells great, like Welch's, like not.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Like that,
Concord.
What is that soda pop, the grape one? Is it, who makes that? No, that doesn't.
Who does make that?
What is that?
It is Welch's. Or is it?
Something, is it new something?
Knee-high. That's what it is.
And of course, that is not an insult to this wine at all. It's just really, it's reminiscent of that. Good times.
The spice on this is over the top. It's almost like a mulled wine. It has so much spice.
Wow, Chef. That is, the nose doesn't prepare you.
No, that's what couldn't wait for you to take that sip. I was just like, this tastes nothing like that buttery, smooth nose. It's just like spice, oak. It's got it all.
Yeah, this is not one of those little simple drinkers from Argentina. This is a complex one. And this is interesting because this is one of the few times that I haven't had this wine before I showed the video.
Before you showed it.
But I believe that much in Catena, and I believe that much in the distributors that say, hey, this one's for you.
This is for you.
Because they know my palate, they know Chef Chris's palate. So, and they were correct. This is we think about all the Cab Francs that we have had from Argentina, Chef, and they tend to be a little more. I don't know if polish is the right word, but a little more restrained.
More luscious.
This has a little bit of wildness to it that I love.
This is a stallion.
Love.
This is a beach dune stallion.
You're riding bareback on this horse.
Beach dune bareback stallion.
And you're hanging on for dear life.
And you're not in charge.
Mm.
The stallion's taking you where it wants to.
But at the same time, elegant. You know, it's a beautiful but assertive one. I would not say it's anything short of anything that I would expect from Catena. It's just another, just put another thing that they've introduced us to, another flavor profile, because they don't make cookie cutter wines.
I was gonna say this
they're always
nothing
different.
like you would expect, and
They're always different.
and they know it.
Yeah, and that's what I love about them. You're not going to end up having, version A, B, C, D of the same wines. Their wines stand out from each other. I love that about Catena.
Well, and I love that of course, they have the resources, but because it's so different and wild. I mean, it just needs its own label, its own designation, its own everything, and so they said, look, we're going to make this part of it, so we're not going to blend it, we're not going to blah blah blah, or just throw it in a bag. I mean, it's a standalone wine. This is the wine I want to be when I grow up.
This is a very dry one. It approaches but isn't green. It just approaches that. I'm curious if maybe they perhaps did stem on. I don't know if they destemmed or not. There is certainly and it is in a beautiful way. I love that there's just kind of approaching green, approaching bitter, but not.
Well, it's more leafy than stem, than stalk. I mean, the green is there, but it's subtle.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's not leading the way like a lot of Chilean.
But I love that because it's not just fruit. It's that, again we talked about the beautiful resin and in this Savatiano, and that gives us a non-fruit element. We have some kind of greenish notes in this. On top, I mean that's not what's driving. It's just another layer.
It's there, another layer. It's there. That crank of green peppercorn. That little bit of eucalyptus almost, maybe. I mean, it's there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're right. It's not driving the train.
Maybe a little bay. I don't know.
Oh, bay laurel, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's in there.
Yeah.
Especially in these areas, so many people are used to those dried, crispy bay leaves. But like around here, the fresh bay laurel, totally different aromas.
Yeah.
You better believe
it's a little sweeter when it's fresh. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I just I was moving plants in for Mom. One of her plants was a bay.
So that's on your mind too.
Yeah, absolutely. I would also say, Chef, that it's a ground spice. It could be cocoa, maybe
Cocoa,
nutmeg.
I mean, how you just shave like a cocoa on there.
Yeah, there's something. There's some dried baking type things in here that I can't necessarily pull out individually.
I get a touch of clove.
Yeah.
It's not or anise, but not. What is it? What is the one I'm looking? What is that?
I guess you could say there's some licorice in there, maybe red licorice.
Red licorice, yeah.
Obviously, there's fruit. I mean, I can name a lot of fruit, but that's gonna be easy for you guys. You that are drinking along with us or have had this before. We're kind of juniper. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
A little bit of juniper.
I dig that. And this is also the kind of wine that once you taste it, your hand is reaching back for it immediately.
Oh, I'm trying really hard not to just.
There's a desire to just keep reaching for it, and so that tells me that this bottle doesn't stand a chance.
Oh well, it was doomed from the beginning, but once the cork came out, my goodness.
You don't really need a wine stopper for this guy.
No, you know how a lot of times you'll put the cork back in, or you'll set it right there.
Yeah.
You can send that flying.
Right. Give the cork. So speaking of corks, we see so many tourists here. We are very tourist driven, and I had a couple in from New Orleans, and they're on one of the parades, the wine based floats.
Oh, cool!
And they asked for a bunch of ONS corks that they're going to dress up and throw in the parade. So
How awesome
Old
is
North
that?
State Winery corks will be flying through Bourbon. Well, actually, it'll be Canal Street.
Canal Street.
Yeah, and
Maybe they'll get traded for some beads here and there.
I bet they will. But if anybody finds this video because they found a cork of Old North State down in Sleaziana, we appreciate you following us. Of course, I used to live in Shreveport, and I've been to Mardi Gras a couple, 3 times. I love New Orleans. I was there.
You've been a
for
lot more than that, it
Yeah,
seems like.
I've been back. Well, I've been for other reasons. I went down there and got my sherry specialist certification there. I love New Orleans. I can't wait to get back to New Orleans. When I'm not in New Orleans, I'm thinking about New
You're
Orleans.
thinking about it.
So it was really cool to.
You love jazz,
I
and
do.
you love
Yeah.
what's that?
Food.
Chicory coffee.
Oh yeah,
You-
yeah.
You
yeah,
love that. And,
yeah. Absolutely.
and of course, you love
Beignets.
every manner of food that's associated with that is
and
right up your
With
alley.
that French-based cuisine and Cajun.
Right up your alley.
that's
Spice,
beautiful.
but yet
And all
have
those
a lot of
crawfish.
velvety things.
Yeah.
Made
I had
for-
my first bottle of Margaux in New Orleans.
No
Maybe
kidding.
it was probably 20 years ago.
How fitting.
But yeah, they have such a French
The
influence.
Margaux.
Yeah.
That's probably what I call it there.
Yeah, with that twang, yeah. And you gotta love that redfish, chef.
Oh man, there's nothing better than redfish. Or
Mhm.
redfish over etouffee.
Would this help?
That might. Now you've got me thinking. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about what to put with this wine. Now, I would imagine you can do so many things.
More wine.
I think you could do a ton of things with this wine. Feel like it is a food wine. As much as we
Oh,
love
it's
it,
absolutely a
as much as
food
we
wine.
love it, because of those really dry, like we said, kind of approaching a little bit of green at the.
It needs a little fat, doesn't it?
I think so.
It needs a little fat.
Yeah.
I had curveballs on both these wines of what I kind of had in my head.
Yeah.
But
Well,
now after tasting both,
So-
I've pivoted on both.
I want to tell you folks how much lead time Chris gets on these wines. So I was up there making some last minute wine orders before my cutoff. He's like, "Are we gonna do this video?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, what wines are we doing?" And I said, "These two." And so he looks at them. He goes, "All right," and he picks them up and grabs 2 glasses, comes down the office. I get off the phone, come down with the iPad, and that's the lead. That's all the lead time he gets.
There we go.
And he didn't even get to open them and taste them. So it's really authentic.
It's very authentic. It's like a mystery box
And
every week.
chef's just like, what do I have here, or what am I getting in tomorrow that I can do with this?
And well, now I'm thinking because today I made some. We got in some lamb from Sunrays Farms in right outside of Charlotte, Concord, I think it is. They have a solar farm right outside of Charlotte where they raise lamb on this solar farm. Then the lamb actually keep the grounds manicured. But I think the fattiness of the lamb, and I got a little spice in that. I used some of the Kashmiri chili, some smoked paprika. I've got some garlic and pepper in there. That's
Big time.
I think that's where we need to
Big time.
land.
I'm
And the sweetness of the fat of lamb too. I just love it's
Yeah.
going to stand up to the spice.
I love Cab Franc with lamb. I don't know that that's everyone's favorite pairing, but I've always loved Cab Franc with lamb. I think a lot of
It
people.
only matters what you think.
Yeah, I think most people kind of lean towards more intense wines, but this has some intensity for the varietal.
I can't think of anything as intense as this while still being polished.
We love Chenin. But Chenin's so feminine.
Well, and it's thin. It doesn't have the weight. While it has the spice and the flavor, it dissipates fairly quickly.
And that's why we love it.
Yeah.
This is a different bird, and I love it too.
But they have shared characteristics, but this is a longer finish.
And of course, we think about that El Enemigo Cab Franc is totally different from this.
Totally different.
It's a Catena compilation. No, that's not the word. Collaborative.
Collaborative.
With the granddaughter.
The granddaughter and the fellow.
Yeah, and he's the
And
Cab
he's
Franc
making
specialist.
he's just making straight French wine in South America.
But
He's not making South American wine with a French flair. He's like Bordeaux, that Bonarda
Yeah.
is just
that
straight,
Bernardo
straight
thing.
Bordeaux.
Love it.
And his Cab Franc, well, of course, like I said, it's my wine of the decade, you know, and I don't have to justify it because I'm not a song. I can just say what I like.
Well, that's what we should all be doing. And remember, that's one of the biggest things that people ask me. It's like, what's better? What's the best? Trust me, it's not what I like, it's what you like.
Well, not only that, ask me again in 4 hours.
Yeah, it
You
doesn't
get a
matter.
totally different
It
answer.
doesn't matter what Robert Parker thinks. I mean, he can certainly guide you.
He can set some guardrails.
Sure.
And I think that's what we want in food and vacations and wine and
Sure.
clothes. You know, send me some guardrails.
But it's not an absolute.
Never an
And
absolute.
nor is Chef Chris and I's opinion an absolute. Well, in your house it is.
Right. And this is the best wine.
Yes. And
then no one listens to it and goes about their day. It's great.
But I will say this: I don't put wines in front of people that I don't believe in. That's for sure. So, at the very least, we believe in it.
And you know,
Whether or not you like it or
and
not.
you also know a lot of palates too. You have so much in between the ears to think about. With so many people's individual palates and so many different styles out there, you know, it's hard to traverse all that and still have the things you like.
Yeah, you gotta aim.
Because you're tasting for others more than yourself, and so
Absolutely.
the last little comment in your head is always like for you. You're always
Sure.
thinking about, I know who would like this. I know what dish this would grow great, or you know, all these different things swirling around your head. You know, it's really hard to be selfish and have a wine that you want to like more than like all the reasons you would find it appealing first.
Chef, I got something weird that I just got out of this wine.
Oh, let's hear it.
Like you know how they have cherry Coke and vanilla Coke and
Yeah.
to me, I just got a blast of chocolate Coke. Like, you know, if you imagine
Oh, I get it.
cocoa and cola
I get it.
together,
I totally get it.
like, you know, because things taste differently separated.
Separated than they do.
But when you put things together, yes, those two things are there, but they also
Feel it.
change each other a little bit.
Feel it every second
And
of that.
so to me, I got this, like, it tasted like Coca-Cola, I guess.
No, I get it.
If that was a beverage.
I
They
love-
may have made it at one point, I don't know.
I'm sure they did. I love the cocoa coating that you get on the tongue from this.
Right.
Especially as it's starting to warm up a little bit
Yeah.
too. You know, it's
Yeah, the
swirling around.
tannins are so fine that they kind of do come across as
And you can
cocoa,
feel the cocoa
grit. Yeah.
on your
My tongue
palate.
wants to stick to the roof of my mouth. It's
Mhm.
nice and dry. But the fruit, you know, we haven't talked about any of the fruit. The fruit is abundant.
and you know, to me, I'm getting tons of black fruit.
Yeah.
You know, it's just blackberry. What's the maybe some plum?
I'm getting plum.
I just bought some plums the other day at the store for the kids, and so it's on my mind because they're a lot darker. They're not as you know peachy in the middle. So it's
Yeah.
and kind of a little stew plum, obviously, but fresh too. I mean, this fruit is fresh.
I'm getting black cherry. Yeah, for all
Black
fresh
cherry.
fruit.
Oh yeah,
I
black
would
cherry.
agree that this is a very fresh fruit.
Black
But
cherry all day.
If you
long.
ever just had a just really nice fresh black cherry from like Michigan or New York or somewhere
That's
up
a great
north,
call.
or we call up north. It's probably south to some of you, but that flavor profile, or even like in a you know if you've ever had a black cherry ice cream.
See, and black cherry ice cream is delicious.
And
That's
because
a real treat if
there's
you
an
find it.
element of vanilla or cream in there
Mhm.
too,
Yeah, the cream soda kind
Mhm.
of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and that cherry.
When you get a fruity cream soda,
Guys,
root
we're-
beer, almost root beer too.
We're just going on and on about
Yeah,
this.
we go 45 minutes later, and another thing.
Yes, and that should tell you that it's a delicious one. I don't think this is a cookie cutter kind of. I don't know that this is something that people think of specifically for Cabernet Franc, but I tell you what, this is a special wine. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find a way to incorporate it into your life because it's really.
Well, see, and
special.
that's the thing. I was just thinking, it's like that is such an out there wine. This would be so much fun to stump your friends with.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's like, when do you open this? I mean, not
We
just-
should do a blind tasting.
I mean, that would stump
Let's,
everyone.
you know what? Maybe I'll do that. I'll do a blind
Have
tasting.
this be the blind one. I mean,
Yeah,
no
I'll
one's gonna get it.
Yeah.
you're gonna get a lot of.
Although it's not fair to them, but it'll be fun.
Well, the last one you did wasn't fair. What was that? What was that champagne from like Tasmania or something
yeah.
you threw on someone?
Yeah, that wasn't fair.
I mean, on the group.
Yeah.
I mean, how fair was that? Not.
Not. Well, we do have our fun. We're not here to make people feel like they don't know what they're talking
Well,
about.
I mean,
just
it's
fun.
not to make them feel. It's to
It's
be
just kind of
revealing.
It's to
It's to be like,
highlight
oh.
how special that wine is.
Like I never would have thought a wine like this would come from South
and
America.
once again, we're under $30. Always under $30.
Actually, you just sold out of this.
That's right.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You got the one in your kit, and we're all sold out.
Yeah. But
$30.
well, it's not even $30.
That's what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
I was 4 years old.
Yeah, and it's actually got some age on it.
Because you got a 6-month lead on that
Yeah.
part of the
You got to
south of the
remember
equator.
they picked this in February of 2019. So.
And we're on the cusp of 2023 here. So I mean,
What?
right?
There's no way
It's
that
over.
I'm gonna be able to write 2023 on my checks. And if someone's watching this, they're like,
You
people
write
still
checks?
write checks. But yes, I do because I like paper trails, and I'm glad I do because it's come in handy a few times.
It really has.
Mhm.
It has.
Yeah. Well, enough about my personal
I
finance.
get so tired of writing checks. That I
Oh,
hate-
even for the business.
I mean, all I do
yeah.
is write checks, and
How-
so
yeah,
like
how
in
many
my
checks?
personal
How
life, I
many
don't
checks did you have to write for me today?
like-
Liquor store, beer distributors, wine distributors.
It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
a routine, and of course, I was writing seafood checks today, produce checks today,
Eggs. Yeah,
checks
yeah.
today, and so I don't like checks at personal life because I get enough of that. So
Mm.
I like doing the and of course my kids just moving money all the time. They're like, when you're seeing a bird's nest,
Yeah.
like all the little chicks with their mouths are open and mama doesn't drop
Yeah.
worms and
Yeah.
flies off and they never stop. I
Yeah.
mean, they eat the worm and it's just, I mean, that's just in my life.
Yeah. You're a bird. Flying around, catching worms.
Catching worms, dropping them at the nest,
Except-
flying right back off.
Except you get wine.
Well, life's still worth living. I mean, like I'd quit doing it if I did. I mean, like they're like, here's some wine.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll go get some
I'll go
worms.
get some worms. Because like both sides would fail.
Okay.
With that, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah. Well, we appreciate you joining in our virtual tasting every week. If you like our little show, give it a like, give it a follow, share it with some friends, write some comments in there if there's some certain wines you're looking for, or if you think we're completely out of bounds and you're like, why in the world would you tell people that wine's delicious? Tell us in the comments, and we'll
We'll tell you why you're wrong.
We'll probably agree with you at some point, but then delete it afterwards. No,
We'll just make
kidding.
fun of you off
Just
camera.
kidding. We wouldn't do that because
We
honestly,
really wouldn't. We're
wine,
making a funny.
Wine is all about personal taste. We can sit here and tell you how great these are, but until you taste them yourself, you won't know. So taste these delicious wines. We think they're great. We're going to sell them at our restaurant. We're going to sell a lot of them because we know a lot of people are going to love them, and a lot of people trust our opinion because we feel like we're doing God's work. Because
Amen.
that
Amen
is,
to that.
people should be drinking more wine.
And having and camaraderie and
Mhm.
laughter and
Mhm.
sharing
Yeah.
and breaking bread together.
Absolutely. That's why we look forward to doing this every week. So if we have 6 viewers or 30 viewers or 3,000 viewers, we're still going to keep doing it because, hey,
One at a time. One glass at a time.
cheers to you. Thanks for following, and we'll see you next week.
Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for tuning in.